It is a really great movie. It's true.
Yeah. Speaking of Wayne's World, folks, thanks for tuning into Bogey Ball Society podcast. We're talking Wayne's World.
Talking a little
Pop culture.
Little pop culture, a little Milwaukee was brought up earlier tonight. Yeah.
And then in this podcast, no guests this time. It's just the four of us. We're going to do a little bit of a progress check, talk about what's going on with our games, and we're kind of rounding the corner. I know you've been able to play all year, but for the rest of us, we're rounding the corner and closing in on the season. So we're kind of updating everyone on the efforts we're making to get ready for that season. It's a good one.
I actually played a lot less this winter than I have in years past. So just we did some travel. There was some really like rainy weather, the fires, like there's been some stuff. So actually I feel almost like I had an off season, significantly less than you guys probably, but it's I'm really looking forward to like the main part of the year. We've got a couple of trips planned. We've got some outings planned, some tourney stuff. So yeah, it's just a really fun episode. Like I think it's just four guys just
they're all
fun. I mean, but this one's kind of it's just special.
We're getting pretty damn good at this. I must say so myself.
I think we're getting really comfortable with each other, which I think is the key. I think early on there was a little bit of a like we're dipping our toes in and we're not really sure how this is going to go.
Oh crap, we're on a podcast.
Hey, what, that guy looks just like me. And now now I'm relatively used. I did just trim my beard, so I'm still getting used to it. Yours is looking good though. It's growing in real nice.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah. So it's another like a couple years and it's going to be great.
All right, everybody. Enjoy the podcast, everybody.
We'll see you on the other side.
Welcome everyone back to the Bogey Ball Society. We're going to do a progress check tonight. There's some positive updates and some positive energy in the group, right? But there's some negative, some hiccups along
Rest
the way.
Rest in peace, Jason.
Yeah. Are we doing? Is everybody doing all right
great,
tonight, fellas?
Yeah. Out not bad.
Jay, do you want? Hold on. Well, let's ask the audience. Do they want good news or bad news?
Yeah. What do you want first? I
think they want bad news. Yep.
Yeah. Did you
Jason,
bad news first? Okay. So, for anyone listening,
oh no, he's got it.
The weapon of choice has been a Titleist GT3, and I was at the sim place in town earlier this week, as in yesterday and the day before. And the ceilings are a bit low.
Well, you're 6'7".
I don't know
if you get to call ceilings
how
low.
well that's gonna show.
Yeah, you can see it.
There's a clear crack and fracturing in that multi-material crown. This place is known for a little bit of low ceilings. The positive of these is I was swinging it because I am now part of the team TPT as well.
Look at that.
So I kind of, I knew that the ceilings were low, but it's like I've got this brand new shaft. I'm not going to be able to swing it for another couple weeks. We're just going to give one a rip and see how it goes. And I took a couple cautious swings the first day I was there, and it was fine.
Yeah.
And so then I was able to just kind of swing freely, and I had no mishaps on Friday. So Saturday, I go down there to watch the Badger basketball game, which they lost to Penn State, one of the worst teams in the Big Ten. Just all around not a great day. And we get like 6 holes in to the sim round, and we're playing I can't even remember what the course was, but the hole was a par 5 flight dog leg left. So I was driving the ball really, really well. I was trying to hit a cut, and for whatever reason, that swing thought in my head changed my follow through. And I finished high, and you heard the sound and feel that makes you immediately ill. And I I look at the head and I see the damage and the devastation, and that was a massive dampener on the remainder of the sim time.
Yeah,
for
I have to
everyone involved.
I read some of the text that this had happened to you. I just assumed it was like in the garage into a net, but this was at a bay designed for you to hit balls?
Yeah. And you know, the one of the drawbacks, so this place is very new. It's really nice setup. It's not a big building. It was a restaurant before. The guy that bought it turned it into a bar and has 2 sim bays. Super nice, great food. Guy's a great guy. I had not been there yet. And I had some taller buddies one of my buddies is about the same height as me, but he swings extremely steep. So the first day it was open, he smashed his driver on the ceiling too.
Oh my gosh.
But he's got an older ping, so
A tank.
that thing's like indestructible. It didn't damage his driver.
He hurt the ceiling.
Right.
And I'm in there and I'm getting warmed up, and he goes, if you're not real steep, he's like, it'll be tight, but if you're not real steep, you'll be okay. And one of the things I've been working on with my skillless coach, which we'll talk about updates later, but that was to get a little bit more flatter swing plane to get my hands a little deeper. So I'm like, oh, that should be all right. And on that normal swing, it was fine. And the good side of my good news, bad news is the TBT shafts were fantastic. I was getting like 110 club head speed with driver on a swing that on TrackMan a few weeks ago was producing 106, 107. 3-wood, I only took one shot with a 3-wood. It was 107 club head speed, which is faster than my driver last year.
Yeah.
Nice. So, those updates, all that stuff was good, and the TBT feels great. Now I just need to get a new head to put on the said TBT. So I'm calling Titleist tomorrow, try to get a warranty claim submitted. I mean,
Because they're this year, right? I mean, you just got those.
Yeah, I got them in August, but I mean, I am at fault. So
yeah, I was going to say, I don't think I've ever tried to do a warranty claim on a club. Like, are you going to have to explain like how it happened?
I'm not sure. And I mean, if I do, I'm not gonna beat around the bush.
Yeah.
I just tell them.
Well, here's the good thing: we know Titleist does not listen to us,
Smashed it.
so
They're not a sponsor
That's right.
yet.
Well, it's like I can't.
Who?
I can't tell them I was playing outside. Then they get the return label to Wisconsin. Like, this guy is full of it.
Yeah, exactly.
So it'll be what it'll be. And if they don't warranty it, they can send the damaged one back, and it'll become a shelf piece and a reminder to not swing drivers in shallow sim bays. And then I'll find something else for the year. It's such a good head that I don't think I'll replace it with anything else. So I'll try to find a head only and not have to pay full freight for a head and a shaft.
Got it.
So yeah, a potential expensive lesson learned. And after that point, I only teed off with my utility iron.
What about like a TSR? I mean, those were great. And didn't you have? I think you might have even had those.
I had a TSI 3, which was really good.
Okay.
TSRs, I think I was seeing some like still in the wrapper at second swing for like 414.
Oh.
And I do have some credit at second swing that I wasn't planning on using on a driver, but you never know now. But I kind of want to mess with a 7-wood again, but I really didn't have that 23 degree driving iron or utility iron I got from some 70. I hit one, it was a little thin, but I hit one, it carried 219 and rolled out 234.
Whoa.
Which is not normal, but I mean, that kind of fills that 7-wood gap anyways. So I may have some room to pick something else if I need to.
Oh man, I'm sorry. That's such a bummer.
That's my bad news, but good news, the TBTs rock. So that's
really
I have that to look forward to when the season starts.
Yeah. No. What do you have?
Scoliosis.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. GT3 driver and then GT2 3-wood and 5-wood. I don't have scoliosis yet, but
which
No,
you will after you hit in that bay anymore. You're just gonna keep
that's right.
punching over more and more. Yeah.
He wanted to talk about
my
the TPT,
my bad. 17
not the Titleist.
17 high.
Okay, yeah.
17 high, which
And the driver and the fairways?
Nitro
Yes,
or
same
power?
one. Yep. Power. And I was kind of surprised by it. I mean, that's what I was fit into with their online fitting tool. But when you look at the graph, it's more like, I think that 16 low is really what I want. Yeah. But I mean, from what I was seeing, like last time I was at TrackMan with the Tour AD UB is what I have. but my spin was way down, like sub 2000s down, and I only hit it, I only hit it 65 to 75 feet in the air. So super low spin with low peak height does not really equate well to carry distance.
Yeah.
The spin with the TPTs, again, very small sample size, but it was never below 22. It was like 22 to 26 with my peak height. That's much better. So I was seeing like 265 to 275 carry with 295 to 305 roll.
Yeah, I really think for gaming spin, that 2200, 2600 is a perfect range, because then if you do hit a toe ball, maybe it's 1900 and it's still playable, versus dropping down to 15, 1400 and it's off the course.
Oh yeah. And even some of those other ones that are in that 1700 range, like if I have the face closed at all, just knuckly hooks, and so that it felt really good. The other thing I noticed too, again, very small sample size, but they have full swing kit overhead cameras, so it shows your face through impact, and everything was in the middle of the club face. I mean, every swing with driver is in the middle of the club face, which for me, I'll miss out on the toe.
Yeah.
So that was really encouraging to see. And we'll have to see if it carries over into the season. But what's amazing with those TPT shafts is you wiggle them and waggle them, and the head is just bouncing all over the place. I'm like, there is no way this is going to hang on. And then you swing it, and it feels super solid, super stable. I mean, I don't know what they do. Well, we know what they do. You can read what they do, but I'm drinking the Kool-Aid.
Or you can listen to last week's
pod. Work too.
That's right. That's true. With John, I missed that one.
It is pretty mystifying though, because I felt like that with the I've only swung an autoflex once or twice, but that same idea of like, this is a joke, and then you swing it and it somehow tightens up, stiffens up, whatever it does. But yeah, the TPTs, I had a round last week where I was in a groove, like and I hit a downslope on one hole, and I was looking 40 yards and right, because I assumed, just based on like the flight, that it must have bounced right. Like where else could it go? And then some rando, literally like in a cart, was like, "Is that your ball there?" Because he saw me looking for it, and it was dead in the middle of the fairway, 303 yards from the tee. And I just started to laugh, and I was like, that is me. And I might have to start looking. I mean, granted, the fairways were a little baked out and it was downhill, so I got the benefits of that shot. But yeah, I mean,
you've come a long way from teeing off with your leg shot.
Yeah. But actually, but it does make me wonder if like learning how to hit on that thing has helped me hit on these, like mine's a Nitro 17. It's tipped an inch, which I don't even know that I need it necessarily, but that was what they recommended on their fitting. Sure, and yeah. I'm seeing some really good results. I do have a question though, because this is where I just genuinely don't know. So please don't, I'm not being a smart ass. I don't know the answer, but I thought that lower spin helped a ball stay straighter and more spin helped a ball, like, so I have my miss is often a slice out of the heel. And I thought if it spun more, it went further right, not less right. But you just said a low spin off the toe hooks off the planet.
You need a certain level of spin for stability, or then the axis of the spin takes over more dramatically. With a slice, it is excessive spin, but it's the face is wide open, so it's going to have a ton still on that axis too. But if you get those like low spin draws, it's if the spin axis gets tilted too much and you don't have enough backspin to support it, it really just goes off into the left or to the right for a
interesting. Lefty. Okay, yeah. Because I've had a few out of the toe. I actually hit a few draws this past week, which was very exciting. Like it's like a totally new thing. But I added more weight to the front of the head to see if I could, because I have a very high, like my attack angles 5.5, 6, sometimes 7.
So you're swinging
like
up.
I have a pretty high,
but I'm pretty low spin naturally. So I was trying to get it into that 2,300 window because I was kind of like living in 28, 29, and I kind of wanted to knock it down a little bit. So I added a little more weight, and immediately like the ball speed has jumped like 4 miles an hour. Like it's really incredible. Like I was looking at the numbers and was like, this can't be right. But then you start getting out there and it's like I hit 3 drives in a row that were like 278, 279, 278. And it was just like, okay, all right, this is great. I love this.
And it's amazing how much a difference just a little bit of weight can make. I mean, so during my GT fitting, my spin was way, way high. And again, steeper swing.
But what does that mean for you? Like, is that over 3?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was spinning like the dark speed X on average was like 3,100, and then I was still spinning the GT3 in the upper 2s and even into the 31, 32s. So we have I think the stock weight in those is 8 grams, and the weight in mine is 14 grams.
Is that back weight or front weight?
It's front weight.
Front
so
weight.
It's already forward, which is supposed to bring the spin down. We added almost double the weight to get the spin where it could be a more playable, more optimized, I guess.
Cool. It's got to swing like a hammer.
It does. And it's really funny. On like I've recorded like, slow-mo swings on the range, and last fall with the Tour AD shaft, and on the takeaway, like you can see the shaft bend forwards because it doesn't want to it bends away. Yeah. Or no, it bends forwards because the head is so much heavier.
You guys are cracking me up because, I mean, I got to tell you, like, when I go to a fitting, I see clip hit speed, I see ball speed, and everything else is just, I look at the fitter, I'm like, was that good? You know what I mean? And then they'll make some changes. Like, I went to a fitting very recently, and we'll talk about that another time, but, they're moving weights around and stuff, and hands it back to me, and I'll hit a couple, and he's like, all right, hey, he's like, all right, we're seeing what we're looking for. I'm like, I mean, I can follow the line on the screen, right? But like spin numbers and like what they should be per club, I just have never gotten into it. So like if I hit a good one and I like it after a change, I'm just like, what'd you do? I like that, I'm like DJ, man. Just give me the club and just let my head go blank. You're right.
The most important thing is to hit a fade when you want to hit a fade. Yeah.
The most important thing you have to do, is, especially playing a fade, is the most important thing that can happen is you make sure you fade it.
That's we'll talk about it next time. But that came up in my fitting today because real quick, I'm looking for like a draw T club.
Okay.
And we'll get into that later. Like
yeah.
So I normally play a cut. What am I going to use for
drivers
when I
go
need
too
a draw
straight?
off the tee?
Yep. Not mine personally, but
so,
generally.
Anyway,
I don't have that experience either.
So during this fitting, we're kind of like setting it up to make sure it's reliably drawing for me. And then he's like, all right, now let me see you hit a couple fades. I said, okay. And as I'm setting up, the fitter's like, and remember, the most important thing to do when hitting a fade is to make sure it fades. I'm like, thank you. You're right.
And you
Nice.
double-crossed a toe
Nice.
all the way across the simulator range, didn't you?
No, but what I did is I had the left to right movement on it, but I started it right.
The double fade. The double fade.
Those are fun.
I corrected it.
Really fun.
The next one I hit a perfectly playable cut. I was happy with it. So we'll talk about that later. I'm waiting for the club to show up, and then I'll show you. It's a secret.
Oh,
that was terrible.
Yeah,
I like the wink though.
Mm-hmm. All about the winks.
Ding. Something
Right.
a little.
Exactly.
I want like a Tinkerbell little. Ding.
Oh, trust me. I've been waiting for the day you said I need a little Tinkerbell sound.
Oh,
Oh
got
my
'em
gosh!
loaded.
I forgot to tell you guys about that.
about Tinkerbell.
Remember, I had to take the kid. A little bit. I had to take. Well, I shouldn't say. My wife's gonna hear this. I got to go to the Nutcracker.
We
again
all know
this
that
year.
you
Remember?
enjoy going to the Nutcracker. You don't have to hide it for our 5 listeners.
You know what I really enjoy? 6 weeks later, going to the musical of Peter Pan. Yeah, and had to do the whole thing. Get a little dressed up, and sure enough, my boy's 10 minutes into it, or, oh my God, what am I doing here? But it was mildly entertaining, and So anyway, Tinkerbell
I got
reference.
a real soft spot for that musical. I worked at a theater camp for years as a counselor, and they did that show, and the kid that was Peter Pan was unbelievable. He was like 9 years old. Impossible. He ended up being on Nickelodeon or something like as like a sitcom star. He was
Justin Timberlake.
It was not Justin Timberlake, no, but he was spectacular. Like even as a kid, like you just were like, oh, that kid's a star. Like you just knew it. But he was really good. How was Tinkerbell? Was pretty good.
It's just a freaking light flying around.
Yeah, I know. That's why it's funny.
It took him forever to find an actual fairy to cast, Matt. So,
yeah. Well, it's hard in the Midwest.
You've been playing though, man. Like, what's going on? Like, how are your rounds going? I'm noticing you're walking most of your rounds. Is that going pretty well?
I am. Yeah, it's been good. It's been good.
Yeah. Are you at the end of 18? Are you like gassed, or
No,
like,
it's actually getting better.
Awesome.
I mean, that's
Nice.
The really encouraging thing is like this 18 in particular. I felt great. Like not that I could have played necessarily another 9 right away, but I really did feel really good, and it's pretty hilly. Like it's very flat, and then there are some very steep inclines that you got to get up. It was awesome. I mean, it was perfect out. It was like 70 degrees and a little breeze, and it's my favorite course. It's up in Ojai, California, surrounded by mountains. It's ridiculously beautiful, and everybody's always in a good mood just because it's just a nice place to live. And so I mean, I did not play great. I was 8 over through the front 9 with 8 bogeys, no 3 putts, but no 1 putts. I just they had punched and sanded, which normally I don't mind that much, but I couldn't read.
You can't read
everyone
them.
That I knew was going in.
It's impossible. You're playing
Well,
Plinko.
that was the experience. That was the experience, and often I just hit it basically straight and a little harder than you think you need to, and I've had some very good success on greens like that. And I had a ball move left and then immediately right, like in a way that just isn't physically possible. It was like the magic bullet in JFK. Like I was like, whoa, what just happened? I had one snap at the hole, like 90 degrees right, like not a little gentle curve, like it stopped and then turned. And all of those were for par, so that's just like a little extra salt in the wound of like, oh man. But I had a birdie on the back, which was great. Played a par 5, kind of exactly right. Hit a good drive, just a little left, kind of got into trouble. Hit a 7-iron into the middle of the fairway. Hit a gap wedge to 5 feet and made the putt. And that one felt like, oh, I know how to play golf. Like this isn't that hard. And it kind of went off the rails.
Quad bogey on the next hole.
What was the score on the next hole? Yeah.
No, I did immediately bogey though. I gave it back immediately. But I only had 1 double, which I've been really trying to play smart and trying to limit those. I know that it's not exciting golf to think I'm going to limit my double bogeys, but it really helped. Like I hit a really nice 5-iron from under a tree, just to get it back into play, and ended up lipping out on the par putt. But like I gave myself a chance, like it was that kind of a round where I felt like I was constantly giving myself a chance to make a score, even if that's only par.
A lot of really smart people would tell you that you're doing the right thing by trying to minimize your double bogeys rather than trying to go for birdies.
Yeah. And honestly, the double bogey was just sort of a bad luck thing. Like I hit a really good drive into the wind, hit a terrible second that I got lucky and found. It was on the edge of a gorge, it's like all full of overgrown stuff that you just can't get it. Anyway, but I managed to muscle a pitching wedge up onto the green, and then I 3-putted. It was the only 3-putt of the day, and I told the buddy I had a 40-foot putt. It was not an easy putt, and it was like on a massive. It was like I had to ride a ridge basically the whole way to the hole. And I told the guy that I was playing with, I was like, "This is just speed. It's just a speed putt," and I absolutely hit it about halfway there. Like I did not. It wasn't even close. Like it was so bad, and then it curled around back towards me.
Yeah.
So I ended up with 25 feet of the 40 left, and and then ironically almost made that, but tapped in for the only double of the day. So honestly, it wasn't as bad as it felt really. But
and that round was 2 days ago, right?
That was Friday. Yeah, a couple days ago.
And then you had another round today.
I did, yeah. So my my little guy, he turned 5 on Saturday. So we had a big party, and but 5 is a big deal here because we were told right before he turned 4 that the local course that's near us that he would come with me and hit balls at and stuff, that he had to be 5 to go. They must have had an incident. I don't know what happened exactly, but they must have had a little that either got hit or was causing a ruckus or something. I don't know.
They got held up by a midget passing for a 4-year-old.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That
It
happens a lot. It's a lot more often than you think it happens.
I'm just helping you with theories.
No, it's really true. But so he had asked, like, when I turned 5, can we go play golf? And I was like, absolutely. And so the whole family went out today. We had breakfast, and then we all got in the car and went over. And my daughter wore a very nice, like, corduroy dress. And I thought, hey, buddy, it's going to be kind of warm. You might, that might not be the right attire. And she was so, it was like flowing, and she was so proud of herself that she had put it on. I was like, I mean, you can wear whatever
Movements
you want,
again.
honestly.
Show me flowing.
She was flowing. Yes, the dress was, but she actually came into the kitchen doing this,
Sure,
like, so that
yeah.
I would notice,
Mhm.
like, ooh, you're wearing a dress. It was very cute.
Now I'd like you to stop. Okay. There you go.
Okay, got it. I thought you wanted me to do it the whole rest of the show. And then
and I'm gonna get new clothes.
Yeah, I just got cast as Tinkerbell, guys.
Right.
Good news.
Hey, Tink.
Yeah.
Nice shot, Tink.
Oh, I'm definitely doing that when we play.
But when she
Just think of a wonderful thought.
that's right.
Yeah,
See?
he
You know
was.
the music.
Yeah,
Come on, you
it's
got it.
been stuck
yeah.
in his head since he saw it on not Broadway.
Anyway, but she swung a few times and was very embarrassed that she wasn't good. Like, it was that kind of thing. Instead of being like, oh, I'm not good at this, how do I get better? It was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. And then it was, I'm hot, and we were only at the driving range just to hit, like, we split a medium bucket, like the whole family hit. My wife hit some. It was fun. And so I just kind of pulled my wife aside and was like, do you maybe want to take her? Because it doesn't seem like she wants to do this at all. And she was like, yeah, I think that's a great idea. So they went and had like girls' lunch. They went shopping. Like, they had a great time. And then he and I, we got to play the par 3. It's 9 holes. And we got through 8. And he said, can we play some more? And I said, yeah, we got one more. And he said, no, I mean, can we play 12? And he was really specific about the 12, which I thought was funny. I was like, sure. I mean, we can play 12.
Not
He
11.
said, he goes, how many holes do you usually play? And I said, I usually play 18. Thanks for asking. And he goes, yeah, let's play 12. So we circled back, and you could it's pay once, and then you can play as many times as you want all day.
Wow.
You can even go home, and as long as you have your receipt, they'll let you play. And so we played another 3 holes, and then he's sitting on the green, like, cross-legged with the ball in his hand, and then he dropped the ball because he was so frustrated and tired, and he's just sitting right at the pin, like right at the base of the pin. Like, he reached in, and apparently what happened is he reached in and something scratched one tiny part of his thumb or something, and like that was the breaking point. Like, nope, not having fun anymore. And so so we packed up, and I carried his bag the whole round, and my bag, and a camera bag, and it was awesome. It was kind of, I mean, it's probably hard to live up to because I've probably played that round in my head for the last year and a half. Like, I can't wait to get out and play with him. But he hit a couple of really good shots. He hits his irons significantly better than his woods. And we got him a new set for his birthday that are just slightly bigger than what he was playing with. So there was an adjustment period, and he couldn't really hit the driver. And I was like, welcome to, that's golf, buddy.
That's really interesting to me because Jackson, maybe it's from baseball, but like, he can hit his driver a lot better than he hits his irons because of needing to manage the ground contact. So if it's teed up, he'll swing and let it rip. But given that ground,
I wore my camera. I have like camera sunglasses that my wife got me for Christmas. That they're awesome. But so I have a few videos of him swinging, and he misses, and then says, he turns around every single time and says, that was a practice swing. And then swings and misses, and then he's always right behind me. He like looks behind me and goes, that was a practice swing. And I'm like, hey man, you don't have to say that every time you miss. It's really okay. Like, we're not keeping score. We're just here to have fun.
He was keeping score.
And then he would then he would clock it, like, oh, it's great.
Okay, first tee, here we go. Try again.
Oh, just practice. Okay, good. There you go. Yeah, it was just it was awesome. So I'm hopefully he had fun and hopefully he wants to do it again. He was really tired. He fell asleep immediately in the car on the way home, and I forget it's like hot and sunny and you're walking, and it's it's not a long walk. It's a short par 3, but it's still for little legs. It's a
little legs.
It's a big
little legs. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, my daughter, they're out of town today. My daughter called me, my 7-year-old, and she said, "Daddy, when does the club opens on Tuesday?" And she might have heard me talking about that. She's like, "So, Dad, on Friday, can we go golfing?" I'm pretty excited about it.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
It's kind of interesting.
So I'm quitting my job. I'm quitting, and we're going golfing.
Yeah, no kidding. My son's baseball schedule dominates my life and the family's life right through the end of June.
I'm in that club too.
I've got yeah, and I don't even coach.
Hey, Hayes, did you know Brian manages?
Yeah, that's right.
Right, yeah, fantasy.
No,
team.
I don't have time for fantasy baseball.
Yeah,
it's 10U, baby.
Right. But what it means is I've got the remaining 4 months of the season to justify my membership at this private club, right? So I've got to I got to get enough rounds in to justify.
Absolutely.
So this year, if my kids are like, "Hey, can we go play 9 holes?" and be like, "You absolutely, we will do that."
So
because I'm going to keep track of the rounds, and unfortunately, if at the end of the year I haven't played enough to justify that rate, I'm going to have to let the membership die and just play the public courses like a commoner. I know.
I'm so offended right now.
Pill to swallow,
but no, I completely agree with you, Hayes.
Okay
you have to. Yeah, I know.
That was his.
He was
goal,
looking right
Brian.
at me. It's fine. Yeah. But yeah, you have to be able to justify that cost.
I mean, it is really nice to just go practice and not have to pay for a bucket. Just walk out there, start hitting ball. That kind of thing. Even just the practice and having access to that is nice, and the pool for the kids. But at the end of the day, I mean,
we have the place I played today has a a members club. They call it. It's I think it's $45 a month, but you get a bucket of balls every day for that 45, and then you get discount on the cart rental. I think is the other incentive, but it's 25 minutes away, and it's I know that I cannot make that 40. It basically would just I'd be lighting $45 on fire effectively. And if I played there once a week and hit a bucket of balls once a week, it basically pays for itself, no problem. But I go all over. I don't just play that one course, and it's like an executive par 61. So it's not really at the top of my list of where can I go
might be
play?
For the next few years though. Sure. Now that little man's playing,
it might be. Right. I know. Well, and also they do a junior program, so and then that might actually be end up being worth it for him. But that's where Max Homa learned how to play golf, which isn't saying much this year because he's having.
I'm really rooting for him hard too.
Oh,
I love
man.
that guy. He's so
one
great.
He's one of my very, very favorites, and it's really hard to watch him struggle. But
he'll put it together.
His attitude seems to be right. Yeah,
well,
I'm
he's
bad
gone
right now,
before.
and I'm going to be better. It's just
I know.
Yeah. Brian, you're getting your reps inside.
Yeah, everybody can download Twitch and follow us on Major League Golf. So shout out to Eli who put it together. But we're doing a tournament, a league inside.
Wait.
Yeah, you can actually watch some of my round last Wednesday on Twitch.
I did.
It's great.
You did.
It's fantastic.
I didn't.
Why?
I just clicked a link.
He was bored.
Well, I was okay. So I had a few minutes left in my shift, and a few.
He
minutes
watched
after
all
that
4.5 hours somehow.
I did not know. It was that long.
Did you have a gambling problem? Did you?
I caught the end.
Did you put together a parlay on that one?
I was screaming at my computer when Brian missed the fairway.
It's fine.
At Paynes
It's
Valley.
fine. I was going to bring it up too.
It's the largest fairway in the world. I think it is 75 yards wide.
I'm not sure
Am I
because
or 130 yards wide. I don't know what
that
it
was
is.
like the first. Is it the first hole? Is it the first hole? Yeah. So I remember I pulled it. I don't remember the fairway looking that wide on the screen, but
when you look directly left at the
true.
woods, it isn't. You're right.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But so I've been doing an indoor league. It's set up just like the TGL. So
it's really actually very fun. I gotta say, just from watching 20 minutes, I was like, this seems like a not necessarily fun to watch, but it seems like it would be very fun to
it's
be
been
a
a
part of.
perfect kind of knock off the rust for your swing type deal, because we play alternate shot for the first 9 holes, and then you're doing 1v1s for the last 6, and we play the 15 holes. You get a good amount of swings in, but you're not kind of just beating balls, so it helps you focus on it there, and it's just been a lot of fun. How
did you pick your team?
So I was able to kind of recruit some of my friends. So like Mark is on my team, and his neighbor from across the street is playing with us, and it's been an absolute blast. But the practice round that I went to the week before we started, we were just kind of wanted to run through the holes, because we're using GS Pro, just make sure we didn't have any issues. For like tiebreakers, we do it closest to the pin, so make sure we know all the settings we need for that. I swung so terribly that I was like and that wasn't with like Mark and my friends. It was with some people from the baseball league who were putting it together, and some of the other coaches and kids. And I was like, they're not going to invite me back. It's like, this is atrocious. I was hitting everything so far off the toe that the ball was coming off looking like I shanked it, just dead right into this, not even hitting the screen, into the side of the net, like really bad.
Oh my gosh,
really bad.
I've done that. It's
like,
really horrible.
To the point where
I've done that too.
I didn't
I've
know
never done
where
that.
the ball was going. Like taking it back, I was like, oh boy, here we go. Let's see what happens.
I hope it's a good one.
Oh,
that's
it was
such a horrible
gross. It was gross. No,
And there's no recovering. There's just not you have to just
at that
stop.
point I knew
that's-
like I need to hit like 60 balls just to figure out what's going on, and not doing it there. And I didn't have a chance to like go back to an indoor space or even hit some balls out on the range. So the next week I got back, and I was just like, I'm hoping this gets a little better. I did a lot of swinging inside, just trying to like see where I'm hitting on the carpet, right? And just seeing where I'm making a mark. And I was like, all right, still that way. So I started setting up like face of the driver, shaft here. I'm the ball's teed up here, and I'm just going back, and I'm finally hitting it like center. But that is also a mental image that you don't want to have to do, staring down at my TPT Nitro shaft with the ball lined up right at the
at the shaft, right?
But it's getting better. It's coming back through. As Matt saw, even though I did hook that one on Paynes Valley, I did have a couple 300-yard drives.
To be fair,
too.
the very first one that I tuned in, I happened to turn it on. He got up and he crushed one, and it was a fairy that kept narrowing, and he hit it directly into the middle. And then the next guy got up and hit the same shot, maybe 5 yards further or something. And I was like, "Oh, this is a big time league." But then it got worse, and I was like,
we are just
regular
people
too. Yeah. So,
but yeah, we played like Wolf Creek and Paynes Valley last week, so some of those tee shots,
it was Wolf Creek.
just insane.
They're insane.
But I've been getting better. Towards the end of last week, I hit a few irons that actually felt nice in my hands, which was enjoyable. There you go. Cut that one. Perfect. Great.
Delightful,
There's a clip.
Sorry.
You sound like the quintessential
off-season
basically
golfer
right now.
Which is the reason I haven't started any lessons with Trey right now, because I was like, I can't record this swing and send it to him. He is gonna be like, dude, just quit. But I did fill out my intake form with him, Hayes. So I'm working to become student numero uno in Trey's eyes. I know you do.
I have mixed feelings about that.
Yeah.
I'm happy for Trey to add another student to his stable.
Yeah.
But you're the kind of guy that would like wait for me to go to the bathroom and then ask my girlfriend for her phone number. That's kind of what the vibe I'm getting right now.
Maybe I don't know.
Yeah. Brian, I think the part that was weird is that you signed it Brian Special Boy.
Yes, exactly.
Right. Yeah.
And then that's where it starts to feel, everyone knows
boy.
Hayes
That's
is
right.
Trey's special.
That's right.
Speaking of which,
Not to make it weird.
to make it a week from today,
Tell us,
I'm playing my first round of the season, actually, and it's going to be with Trey.
Can you please
down in
record,
Tennessee.
like,
No
I want to
pressure.
see a long
That'd be
drive
cool.
swing
Yes.
from him and record it.
So do I.
Yes.
Yeah.
But also,
Yeah,
I need
I
to
will.
see your
And then
first tee shot while
him
he's watching.
waving from where he is in the fairway to where you are in the fairway.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, I scoped this thing out. I can play that thing from the tip, so I'll play the same tees with him. But the point is, I'll have driver, he'll have 4-iron. You know what I mean? You're laughing, but that's kind of actually how it's probably going to go.
I would imagine that's probably the play off the tee for him.
Also, is this going to be kind of like is this just a play as two friends, or is it going to be kind of like a playing lesson in like a dumbed down version of a playing lesson, or what's the approach?
I told him, dude, let's just play. This doesn't need to be a playing lesson. I'm sure he's going to have some feedback at some point. You know what I mean?
He's not going to be able to help himself. He's a good coach.
And Hayes is a mess.
And plus, I mean, it's going to be my first round of the year.
Nothing.
What's that?
Go on, Hayes.
I really didn't catch that. But I was going to say, it's my first round of the year. There's going to be some bad, rusty swings out there. So
for sure.
I'm kind of, if I leave the round and Trey is responsive to further requests for lessons, then I'm okay. Like I'm really a little worried he's going to be like, man, this guy's hopeless.
Well, that's why I didn't send him any videos yet, because I'd be like, I don't want him to prescribe a whole bunch of swing fixes, exercises, things I need to do for a swing that is not representative of what I'm going to have, a month from now.
Yeah,
for sure.
I actually had that thought at that fitting where, because like I don't enjoy hitting into a net. I don't enjoy it. I mean, into a projector with, I get very self-conscious. I feel like I'm constantly need to be like, as if I need to be performing for the person making the fit. And often like the only real case of the yips I've ever had came in a session like that. And it just, I kept hitting the hosel. I couldn't not hit the hosel. It was incredible. And, but I had that same thought with like, is this the shot shape I'm typically seeing on course? Or so now I'm prescribed at 4 degrees up. Is that real? But I will say, playing these irons, I hit a lot of very straight shots, like that are just exactly on the line that I intended. So it's been nice to see that validated on course, as opposed to pulling everything 30 yards left and being like, I didn't need a 4 degrees up.
So here, get this part of how bad the first 2 weeks were for me, right? We keep track of fairways and greens in regulation. Through 2 weeks, I had 2 fairways and 1 green in regulation. Now, part of that is kind of luck of the draw. Of
how many alternate shots?
So you're teeing off on 3 holes on the front, and you're playing 2 solo holes on the back. So plenty of opportunities, right? You're rotating through. Last week, I added 4 and 4. So I more than 400 times my green and regulation performance in the last week.
Congratulations!
Yeah, you just got to knock some rust off.
But it's moving along. I've been doing a lot of stretching during the day because I think I narrowed it down to is that just like I'm too stiff right now, so I'm like just standing up and pulling away as I start my downswing. And that's pulling everything inside.
Yeah, I'm kind of running into that problem too. I got a lot of swings in today, and I'm noticing like, when we had Mike on, he talked about like you can't fit everything you want to do into a day. It's just there's not enough time, right? And I would love to be in a world where I could lift, I could do like the cardio I should do, and do all the mobility work I should do. The lifting has happened religiously all off season. The mobility stuff has kind of, I do it when I can, and the cardio hasn't really happened much at all.
Yeah.
So I'm just a big, dumb, stiff brute right now, trying to swing a club. Yeah.
You had me at stiff, dumb brute. Yeah.
Me swing hard.
Yeah, exactly.
Ball far. I'll tell you though, listen, I'm not one to brag.
Huh?
Really? Are you sure?
I'm laughing. I'm even laughing at me saying it. Okay. But so I got into Mike.
The saying should just be, I'm one to brag, and then just say whatever you want to say.
Hey, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I'm going to tell you about my accomplishments lately.
Listen, guys, I want to brag.
Yeah. So listen, I'm into the last phase of the force workout from Mike Carroll's Fit for Golf program. The scheme of that phase is you do 5 in the core exercises. You do 5 sets at 1 rep. And then for your 6th set, you basically do like a burnout set, so you jump it up to 5 reps. So on Friday, at the end of week 1 of this, on the hex bar deadlift, I did 5 sets of 430, and then 5 reps of a burnout at
Ounces?
370. Not quite, buddy. So the point is,
Yeah.
I'm pretty proud of the progress I've made. Like, and I got to tell you,
I just
gotta go.
muted myself.
my wife has
but
noticed the
wow.
benefits. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, she's,
This is a
likes the way I live
family-friendly
right now.
podcast, Hayes.
I didn't
You
say
implied
anything.
it with your eyes.
I use appropriately. Kids are dumb. They don't understand the implications. Anyway, so the point is, so I've gotten plenty strong, but I got to tell you, I am very much looking forward to, in 3 weeks, I'm past the force workout and it's into velocity and it's a lot
Nice.
lighter weights, like just kind of moving things as fast as you can, plyometrics, and I can start an actual like stack program instead of the maintenance I'm doing. I'm looking forward to that because I have been like perpetually sore for like the last 3 months. So Mike's stuff is great, man. And I'm hoping to get more mobility work over the next few months too, because I certainly need it.
Well, those are some serious numbers. How much do you weigh, Hayes?
185.
Yeah, that's impressive. That's solidly impressive.
Insane.
2+ times that's awesome.
Yeah. Now, there's some other exercises where maybe not so good. Which, by the way, my wife is on the way here right now. She's driving, and she sent me a message. Hey, by the way, I'm listening to the pod right now. Enough of the calf jokes. And I replied, it's not me. I know it's played out, but these
it's
idiots
not even
don't seem to
usually
get
me
it.
that starts with it. I feel like I get all the blame from it, but if somebody's going to pile on, like,
it's true. It's all the text messages we get from Brian saying,
yes,
don't forget to make fun of his calves. Yeah. Love, Brian, special boy. And then it's, I'm like, you don't have to call. I don't want to call you Brian, special boy.
But the feedback from my number one fan or our number one fan is to retire the calf joke, fellas. So you
all right,
have to come up with some new material. Well, she
all
did
right,
actually. She used the word calf, not calves. So maybe you could pick on the other one.
What's your non-dominant leg, Hayes? Which
didn't say which calf.
I'm all upper body is the point.
That's great.
Yeah, so I'm gonna play with Sensei
That's
Mullins
awesome.
next week, fellas. I can't wait to tell you about it.
That's really cool.
That'll be look forward to hearing all that.
It'll be inspirational, maybe a little humiliating, but inspirational. I'm looking forward.
But for
to
real,
that
get some video because I think that would be it would be really fun to be able to like if you can get a clip and put it up here or just something. I think it'd be fun. Yeah,
absolutely.
Jay, I got a question for Jason. So you just said that was super impressive because it is very impressive. Hayes' numbers.
Big time.
What makes it impressive? Like what would be a
how much are you supposed to be able to do based on your weight?
I don't even know what a hex bar is. First and foremost, a hex bar has 5 sides?
A 6.
Standing inside.
And you stand it.
Hexes.
It's called a trap
pentagon,
bar.
right?
Trap
Hexagon,
bar,
right? Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean,
once again,
the standard, you should be able to. And I'll fully admit I can't do any of these things right now, but typically someone's considered strong, like if they can like bench their body weight. Squat is typically like 1.5 to 1.75 times your body weight, and I think deadlift is typically 2 to 2.5 times.
So
your
he's
body
well
weight.
clear.
That's when you're
well clear
really
of that.
moving it. Oh yeah.
I'm surprised you can't hit the ball farther, Hayes.
Keep talking, Brian. You just keep fueling that fire, buddy.
There we go.
Well, that's and that's we this was a side conversation, but like you need to be strong so you can jump high and be explosive, and Mike's programs are an example of that. Like you need to build foundational strength, and then you move into a program where you're performing explosive movements. If you can be explosive and do that stuff right away. But if you're not strong, like you're going to hit a max real quick and it's not going anywhere. So,
it's such a cool concept too. The idea that you can just break it down. Like for somebody that I'm so terrified of like the idea of working out because I haven't done it for so long. So just thinking of like, oh my God, but the idea that you can break it down into like, no, you're just building this to do this, like this build actions this, and then that you just keep building on top of one another. Just makes it very approachable. So
there's so many ways to go about it too. I mean, like I don't have access to a full gym because I can use the stuff at the hospital that I work at for free. So I do most of my strength training with dumbbells and kettlebells,
just
and body weight.
Patience. Right.
Yeah. Right. So like I'm not, my days of chasing big numbers are well behind me.
So Jason, question then. So if I deadlift, right? What can I do if I am not going to a gym and don't have 400 pounds in a hex bar to access? What can I do to build that? What would you do?
Yeah, so I mean, if you have, so it's a lower body, you're not going to match it perfectly. You can use dumbbells or kettlebells for a deadlift modification. That's what I do. And then when the weight becomes too easy, you can go on Amazon and you can buy some resistance bands. You can stand in the resistance band, hold the resistance band within the handles of the kettlebell or the dumbbell, and
that's a good
progressive resistance. So, there's a lot of ways you can go about it without having to be at a full gym. Obviously, that's the ideal, but not everybody can.
Thank you.
That's cool.
Yeah. But Brian, you have to actually do it, though.
You do have to do it.
Yeah. You can't buy it, look at it, and just reap the benefits.
This is 2025, people. Okay, we need to figure this out.
Yeah.
Unopened resistance bands under my TV right now. So that comment was at me, not at Edinburgh.
No, it was.
I bought a box of resistance bands like 2 years ago, thinking today's the day, and then I put them under the TV, and I think they're still there.
No, I've been at baseball camps all weekend. I'm loosening up the arm. We're getting going. We got evaluations next week.
It's right around the corner.
For J-Man.
Yeah,
I like that they call it
thing.
evaluations.
Yeah. So they'll run
like
through a bunch of drills, and we do it by the different age groups. So I'll be there all day on Saturday. It's going to be a gas because I have to be there for Grady's age group, which is the 7 and 8 year olds, and then Jackson's going with the 10-year-olds. But I'll be there to just help evaluate. But that's what they do to set them up to see who's going to be in the top league, the majors league for the 10, 11, and 12-year-olds. Then the next league down can be 9 through 12, which is what Jackson was in last year.
Oh.
And then we have our minors, which is 7, 8, and maybe 9.
There's that many kids that play.
Yeah, we have.
Wow, that's awesome.
Does everybody
will play? So if they don't make a majors team, they'll be in international, which is the next league down for the 9 through 12s. They'll take as many 9s as they need into that league.
So you don't have to call parents and say,
no, we don't do that. We don't do that at our baseball league. But once, if Jackson's most likely going to make a majors team this year, and then he will be on that team for the next 3 years until he's out of Little League. And
oh wow,
interesting.
So it's.
And did you tell him that he better not suck or you're not drafting him?
Right. No, it's so he's been.
You're like, sorry, you're with that guy over there.
proud dad moment. I guess he's been one of the top.
But that kid that's actually 16 from the Dominican, I'm taking him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He's been one of the top rated kids in our town program for the last few years.
That's awesome.
So it's actually all the majors coaches have been walking around telling him, like, kid, show up with a left-handed glove on Saturday, or they're like, you don't have to come, it's okay. And I'm like, I think if they're all telling him that, then it's probably the news is out there. So, we're fully expecting he'll be on one of those major teams this year. And then what will be really fun is if Grady keeps doing well, when Jackson's 12, Grady will be 10, and they could potentially play on the same team for a year, which Jackson would hate and Grady would love.
That sounds like the correct dynamic.
Brian, you definitely have that proud papa twinkle in your eye, buddy.
Yeah, I know.
Got another twinkle moment going on here.
I'll tell you what, though, Hayes. I think you went through this last year already, but the bat conversation has come up.
Boy. Oh yeah,
and I'm like,
so
there's single piece alloy, there's multi-composite, there's 2-piece composite bats, there's. But we're USA Baseball. I don't know if you were USSSA or
we're USA Baseball too.
Okay, so what I'm reading on that
here.
is that, sorry for the slight tangent, listeners, but USA Baseball, it's supposed to perform like a wood bat would, so there's not as much difference between bats.
It's less hot than a triple S bat.
Okay.
So, but I'm like, now if he's on a majors team, it might be worth it to get him a better bat than what he's been using, which has been like a Facebook yard sale bat.
Yeah, but that's the way to go, because a brand new retail bat, $400.
Yeah, it's insane.
And if you're buying them,
Oh, that's
easy.
And if you were,
I mean, I haven't played since I was whatever.
12.
Well,
and that, like, if
and I didn't buy the bats anyway. But
if you're gonna equip your kid with the right bat for his size, you're gonna buy a new bat like almost every season, maybe every two. Like, so Grant's on his third bat. This is a 30-inch. It's a drop 10. It was $400, and like this is probably his last season with it.
I'm trying to like look at what were last year's really good USA bats and try to get one on clearance if I can.
Or Facebook Marketplace maybe.
Or Facebook Marketplace. I get it, but I've heard not to get used composite bats.
Yeah, because they're
the 2-piece composite
break,
bats. But like a single-piece alloy, you're generally good for another.
So it used to just be aluminum, and then right at the tail end of our little league, like ceramic became a thing. Is that what we're talking about here? It's like
no, they're like carbon fiber, like composite, like QI10 face on a baseball bat. Basically, they sound completely different than your old
super muted.
Holy smokes.
Little league bat. Yeah.
Okay.
And what I was just reading is that the single piece alloy ones, the traditional style, are better for power hitters who are trying to get the most speed because they're stiffer. The composite ones have a little more bend. They're great for contact hitters. They have kind of like a bigger sweet spot.
I don't know, man.
But I'm still very early on.
Well, the craziest part about this conversation is this is about 10-year-old baseball.
I know,
but that's really blowing my mind. Like I'm not kidding. I never owned a bat ever, and I was an okay. I mean, I was more pitcher than I was hitter, but I was on an all-star team every year from 9 through 13. Played high school baseball, but I never owned my own bat. I just used whatever the team bat that I liked the most was.
It's probably the Louisville Slugger Omaha.
Ooh, the Omaha was a good one.
It might have been. I really liked the Fungos, to be honest, because
I bet you did like the Fungos.
Yeah, fun to play with.
Eights and stealths were the rage. I remember
the stealths were
remember the 888s and the 777s.
Yep.
I think the moral of the story for our golf listeners is challenge.
Don't let your kid play baseball.
Challenge is to find time to go play, because I mean, I never want to miss a game so I can go play, right? So then it's a Wednesday to actually go find the time to play.
Oh yes, and that this year, so all 3 kids are playing again, but with the leagues that they're gonna be in, we'll have no games on Sundays.
Nice.
Oh,
very nice.
That's
so
great.
I'll at least be able to carve out like Sunday morning. I'm gonna run out and
that's
go.
Great.
Yeah. So Grant's gonna have tournaments most weekends. Friday and Saturday are seeding games. Sunday is the actual bracket itself, which I never want my Sunday to be clear suddenly, you know what I mean? So I'm always rooting for him. But if he gets if they get bounced early, it's time for a Twilight 9, something like that, But
well, the clocks we just had the clocks go forward, and today's the first day.
It was glorious.
Sure was
driving around.
We were just eating dinner, and the kids literally were like, "Why is it so sunny out?" And it's 6 o'clock, and I was like, "This, just get used to it, man. This is just, it's just the best."
Well, fellas, I think it's about time to wrap it up. We hit about an hour here.
Perfect.
Oh well,
yeah.
I feel like it's been so long, even though it hasn't. That I could just talk for another hour. Just do part 2.
I know. Well, we've had a couple of guests. We're lucky that we've had some guests, but also it's nice to just sit and BS and talk shop. So
next time around, I'll give you the play-by-play on the round with Sensei Mullins.
Really can't wait. Yeah. It's that's pretty awesome.
What are so Matt, with your gambling problem, I put a big bet. Put a big bet on me winning. Put a big bet on me beating him.
Got it.
God,
Hey, you live stream on Twitch because I am addicted. So
Wednesday, we'll be back on Wednesday.
I don't know what Twitch
have
is,
a Twitch, so
I don't know how to do it.
How do you not know what Twitch is?
I've only heard
it's
of it.
what like all the gamers stream all their live streams.
I'm proud that I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I honestly, it was a link that he sent. I didn't download anything, so in my
you can get to it from the web.
Exactly.
It's the same as doing like an Instagram live or a YouTube live. It's a dedicated app for it.
Kids these days.
I know.
All right. I think we're out, fellas.
All right, I'm going to change my name to Tink. See you. We'll see you next week.
Well, I don't know what you were talking about. That was boring as well, I won't say it, but no,
oh, it's good, man.
I'd love to come back. I'd love to come back and just be like, fooled you. You suckers.
You've lost an hour of your life.
Joke's on you guys. No,
that was a good time.
It's honestly, it's the part of my week that I've become, like, we've had a couple of weeks where we weren't able to record, and it's like a real bummer. Like it is. I have such a good time hanging out with you guys and just talking shop.
And you're going there, so I'm going to go there. There are a lot of golf podcasts out there, and if you were to do a search of all the golf podcasts that maybe started, got a few episodes in, and they're kind of done now, it's not going to happen. If anyone's wondering, like, we're enjoying the hang of this. We're going to be around, and we can become internet famous, and it can take off, or it can be just the 5 followers that Martin Chuck knows about, right? And that's going to be enough for us. We're enjoying this, and we love talking golf, and we're tight friends, and we're having a blast. So we hope you're enjoying it too.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks to Martin, we are now up to 7 followers. So
almost double digits.
Joke's on him. Really.
I didn't know what the hell he was talking about at all.
And when we get him back next time, maybe we'll have 9. I don't know. That's gonna be. He's gonna freak out. All right. Thanks everybody. And what do we got next week? We got next week's a fun one. I won't give anything away, but it's
a lot of drama.
It is a little dramatic. It's a little bit of a Real Housewives kind of episode.
Voices are raised.
Yeah, I mean, I might throw a glass of wine at Hayes. I don't know. Yeah. I haven't edited.
Real Housewives, but like without the fake nails and breast implants, fake tans,
fake nails for sure. Yeah,
right.
I got a very lovely set over here. So,
got it. We're done. See you, everybody.
Bye, guys.